Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. 10 Israeli hostages and 2 from Thailand have arrived in Israel after being released by Hamas and another armed Palestinian group on the 5th day of the truce in Gaza. In return, Israel has released another 30 Palestinian prisoners. Qatari mediators say they are 15 women and 15 minors. The heads of US, Israeli and Egyptian intelligence have been meeting in Qatar to discuss extending the ceasefire further. From Jerusalem, here's Paul Adams.
There are pretty high hopes that there will be a second 48-hour extension. Beyond that, well, frankly, everything is up in the air. We don't know the state of the negotiations which have been going on. We know they've been going on. There are hopes that this process could continue. And as long as it continues to deliver day by day, as expected, the required number of people, then it is reasonable to assume that there will be intense efforts to keep it going.
A representative of the UN's Children's Fund says its aid workers in Gaza are terrified they'll see children dying from waterborne diseases. UNICEF spokesman James Elder, who's been helping distribute water, fuel and medicines during the pause in hostilities, told the BBC that his colleagues fear the numbers who die could mirror those already killed in the conflict.
You see the look in children's faces and you see the desperation in adults' faces when they know that they can't keep their children safe with clean water and so on. I think that's where UNICEF's message is. It's about aid, but it's also any conversation, I think, around this whole crisis has to begin with empathy.
The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has praised the courage and patience of the 41 construction workers rescued from a collapsed Himalayan road tunnel after 17 days. Mr Modi also hailed the bravery and determination of those involved in the massive operation to extract them. There's been widespread relief in India after the men were freed. A report by the UN says Haiti's gang wars have spread from the capital Port-au-Prince to neighbouring rural areas, displacing thousands of people and jeopardising food supplies. The UN report said the multinational force for Haiti should be deployed as soon as possible. President Laurentino Cortizo of Panama has said a huge copper mine will be closed after the Supreme Court struck down a contract for a Canadian firm to run it. The court ruled the arrangement unconstitutional. Only last month, Panama's Congress approved a law allowing First Quantum Minerals to operate the mine for 20 years. That decision prompted protests. A spokesman for the National Confederation of Independent Unions, Genaro Lopez, welcomed the ruling.
I think it's a historic moment that Panamanian people must celebrate. A new period is starting. The law is unconstitutional. Now we have to make sure it's fulfilled so that the mining company doesn't exploit our resources.
BBC News. The family of Paul Whelan, an American jailed in Russia on espionage charges, say he has been physically attacked by a fellow inmate, probably because of his US nationality. The 53-year-old former Marine told his parents in a phone call that a new prisoner hit him in the face, but other inmates came to his aid. Washington considers him wrongfully detained. An opposition party in the Democratic Republic of Congo says one of its activists has been killed in clashes with a rival political party in the east. Witnesses said violence broke out during a campaign motorcade in Maniema province for the opposition presidential candidate Moise Katumbi ahead of next month's elections. Mr Katumbi's Together for the Republic party accused supporters of the governing party of President Felix Tshisekedi of planning the attack. A memorial service for the former US First Lady, Rosalynn Carter, has been held in Atlanta. Her husband, Jimmy Carter, who's 99 and in hospice care, attended, along with President Biden, Bill Clinton and all living First Ladies. Mr Carter did not speak. Instead, his daughter Amy read a letter that the future president sent Rosalynn 75 years ago when he was serving in the Navy.
My darling, every time I have ever been away from you, I have been thrilled when I returned to discover just how wonderful you are. While I am away, I try to convince myself that you really are not, could not be, as sweet and beautiful as I remember. But when I see you, I fall in love with you all over again. Does that seem strange to you? It doesn't to me. Goodbye, darling. Until tomorrow. Jimmy.
Rosalynn Carter was one of the most high-profile presidential spouses, especially active in campaigning for women's rights and on mental health issues. BBC News.